What's up, y'all? This is Hussein Nasser from iGeometry Podcast, and welcome to today's podcast, everybody. Yeah, so I did record this segment, but the audio quality was really bad, so I just recorded again. All right, today we're gonna talk about persistence of certain things in your application. When you build software, you want to persist your data somehow, right? And today we're going to talk about persistence in the context of durability. So what does that mean? So let me start with actually telling you a story here. So when I drive back home, I usually put my phone connected to the Bluetooth. This is what screwed me off, by the way, with the bad quality of audio. So I connected the car, and I have an iPhone 10 Siri. So when sometimes I use Siri to shout commands such as, "Hey Siri, how long until home?" "Hey Siri, some definition of certain word that I heard today." So it's really useful, And the other day I was actually. I asked one question. And I was driving in the 215 south, and for some reason there wasn't any internet connection. I don't know why, but I lost it there. So Siri kept spinning, and she eventually gave up. He said to me, "Looks like you don't have an internet connection," or something, right? So try again. So I lost her there. So after the internet connection came back, after a few minutes, I just said, "Hey Siri, try again." It's like thinking that it will actually try that. So I forgot two things. First, Siri is a stateless app, so that means if you shout a command, that command is no way related to the previous command. So you can, for example, ask her, "Hey Siri, give me what's the weather today," or then you cannot continue on that question, like saying, "How about tomorrow?" I mean, yeah, you actually can do that, but because that's actually it's not a stateless question. But you can ask her a question and take the input of that previous answer, and then take that input into the next question, right? I can't think of an example right now, but I think you got my point. But yeah, that was a very long definition of the stateless applications. But yeah, so sorry if I mumble a lot, guys. But yeah, so I forgot that. And the other thing is, I noticed that Siri does not store commands. So maybe it does, but I had no way of actually looking at my commands and see what I actually shouted at her, right? So if I think about this, right? So that command, I just lost it, right? I lost that command that I sent, right? So I told her to do something and lost the internet connection, and my command is gone. So I have to repeat it. So if you think about it, if I was Apple, right? If Apple engineer, I think that wasn't a bad decision to make, to not persist these commands. What do you guys think, right? In my opinion, persisting these audios will eventually, like if something failed, you'll persist it. You need memory, you need location, you need resources in your iPhone, right? And with a lot of failed attempts, you will end up with a lot of unused resources, right? So that brings us to the next topic, next segment. Stay tuned. Yeah, so that's the concept of persistent durability. So I lost my command when I didn't have an internet connection, when Siri lost an internet connection and I lost my command. And maybe that's not so bad, right? But think about other applications, right? Think about, for example, if you're composing a message, a Word document, an actual audio, right? Where, like, for example, Anchor FM, this podcast, right? You probably want to persist somehow these drafts of messages. And I'm gonna bring WhatsApp as an example here, really. So it's like if you are using an app, right? And this app is a Word document. If you write this Word document and you didn't save for a while and then you lost power, right? That's it. You lost all your document, you lost all your work. But what Microsoft did in this example, they actually started to take snapshot of your work for Word document. You might notice that a draft is saved automatically, even if you didn't save your work. So they really value that, because people done it before, they got bitten. So same thing with, say for example, WhatsApp. You write a message, you send it. Most probably 99% it will reach if there is an internet connection. But if you somehow like disconnect, just turn it off and then try to type a message and then send it, you'll get this X red, right? But your message will remain there. If you write a long message, your messages will remain there. Twitter works the same way, at least the Twitter application for iOS. I don't know about the rest. But it saves some sort of a draft. These are stored locally, right? And sometimes even they stored in the cloud. It depends on the application really itself, right? It syncs up if there's internet. Like sometimes if you write something and then in Twitter, and then you decided to, I'm gonna continue some other time. So you'll close, but it will save and it will persist somewhere. So if you open the Twitter on the web, you'll actually see your draft. So that's kind of another kind of persistent for durability. But I want to come back to WhatsApp and tell you another funny story. Really. So I didn't really care about that command that I shouted at Siri, because I can always repeat it. It's easy. It was like a 3 sentence or 1 sentence. But right, for WhatsApp, I use this audio voice note a lot. And you know, if you're using WhatsApp, you would know that you have to hold your message, right? There's a button called the mic button, and you have to hold it. And as long as you're holding it, the mouse down event or touch down event, it will start recording, and you talk. But if I just like record a 5 or 3 minute voice note, sometimes like my thumb get really tired, you know, and sometimes like, or I get sweaty and I slip, and guess what? If you accidentally tilt it to the left, this touch, right? It actually cancels that command, and it happened to me a lot. I would record 5 minutes voice note and then accidentally just lose it. So, right? So that's a poor usability in the application, where you spent this much time composing work, really, right? It wasn't really a stupid message, but still work, right? It's just something you did. And then you lose it, right? So what could you do? And I'll tell you what WhatsApp did in the next segment to solve this problem. I didn't complain. They actually fixed it. They're actually cool. Coming up in the next segment, guys. Stay tuned. Yeah, so what WhatsApp did to tackle this problem, and I think people have complained, is what they did something really simple, right now. They blame it on, they throw that problem at the user itself. So what they did is that that was really smart, To me, it's really smart. So they didn't actually persist those failed messages. I mean, the audio, right? Especially audio. Audio is expensive to save, to store in the device, right? Unlike text. But what they did is they said, okay, if you're holding that mic button, there is an option if you can drag up, and there is a lock icon. They introduced a lock icon where you can just release your thumb and you just record. It will continue recording unless you actually tap the lock to unlock, and it will send automatically or cancel, depend on the option you want to do, right? So that was actually a smart decision. So think about the engineering behind these small details while you're using the application. And it's really beneficial. So you guys, what do you think when you're building software? If you have content, some sort of a content, you'd think, you sometimes have to think of persisting this content, but sometimes you have to be smart, like what WhatsApp did in this case. And it's actually, that was really genius, They saved resources, but they managed to solve the problem, right? The durability problem. Say they throw it in the users. They say, it's your fault. You didn't press the lock, right? So by adding few user experience, they enhance the durability and persistence. All right, guys, that's all for me today. I'm gonna see you in the next episode. Check out the other content in my speaking of content, check out the other content on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/iGeometry. You're gonna love that stuff. We talk about a lot of iGeometry stuff. We talk about GIS, obviously, but we talk about software engineering a lot. There is a ton of tutorial on that channel, right? JavaScript, cool stuff, Node.js, sweet stuff. All right, guys, I'm gonna see you in the next episode. You guys take care and have a great weekend.